Hello everyone, I Puneet Upadhyay, HOD of Mechanical Department, handling the subject Mechatronics. So before starting the session 3, let us brief out what you have studied in the session 2. So in session 2, we have studied what is the control system, the types of control system, the comparison between the open loop and closed loop control system, then important questions for the examinations. So what is this control systems? Control systems is nothing but the integrations of the different types of components which is used to provide the command so as to desired output is achieved. So what are the types? There are two types, basically the open loop control system and the closed loop control systems. The comparison between the open loop and the closed loop control systems. So in open loop systems we don't have the feedback unit. So this is the main disadvantage of the open loop. So in this system the output cannot be controlled, whereas the closed system, it has a main advantage, that is it has the feedback where the output can be controlled with a reference input. So now next begin the session 3. So in this session it is a continuation of the previous session. Okay, so in this session we are going to study the what is a sensor, what is the transducers, factors for selection of the sensors, then terminology used in sensors and transducers, then important questions for the examinations. So before that, let me tell you that what is this sensor? The sensor is nothing but, it is an element which produces a signal relating the quantity being measured. From this block diagram you can see this is the real world, where the sensors is acting in between the real world and the intelligent control, that is the intelligent mechatronic systems. So here what it does, it produces the signal relating the quantity being measured. So here this is the real world where the signal is produced with the help of the mechatronic, that is the intelligent systems. So this is the definition. So there are different types of sensors we are going to see. We can see the thermistors, the air sensors, the ultrasonic sensors, then the smoke sensors. So there are wide variety of sensors which are used in different part of the applications. Next one. So what is this? Transducers. So transducers is a device which converts the energy from one form to the another form. Next, the functions of transducers. So what is the main function of this transducers? So it detects or senses the presence, the magnitude and a change in physical quantity being measured. Then it provides the proportional electrical output signal. Next, factors for selection of the sensors. So what are the factors which are going to be selected where this sensor is selected? It depends upon the particular applications. So first one is the nature of measurement required, that is the range of values, accuracy required. The next, the nature of output required from the sensors. The next, the identification of sensors based on the range, accuracy and linearity. Next is the terminology used in the sensors and the transducers. So desirable features of the sensors are the range span, the errors and accuracy, the non-linearity, the hysteresis, the deadband and saturations, the output impedance, repeatability, stability, sensitivity, resolution response, frequency, response time, then the calibrations. So here we are going to study one by one in detail. So before that, let me begin with the what is this range and the span. So what is this range and a span? The range is nothing but the lowest and the highest values of the stimulus. So it is a measurement of the lowest and the highest value of the stimulus. Then what is this span? The span is nothing but it is the arithmetic difference between the highest and the lowest value of the input that is being sensed. So this is nothing but the span. The example for the sensor is that consider a thermometer, okay, where the sensors, it is temperature sensor, is used to sense the degrees. It is from minus 30 degrees to plus 80 degrees with the output value of 2.5 volt to 1.2 volt. Here the range is nothing but is defined as the minus 30 to plus 80, that is the reading, that is minus 30 degrees to the plus 80 degrees. Next one is the span. The span is nothing but the difference, that is 80 that is plus 30, that is 110 degree, and it is nothing but the span, that is the highest value and the lowest value, the difference between the highest value and the lowest value. Next, the error and the accuracy. So what is this error? The error is difference between the result of the measurement, that is the true value of the quantity being measured. Error is measured value minus the true value. So this is nothing but the error. Next, the accuracy. What is this accuracy? Accuracy is the extent to which the measured value might be wrong and normally expressed in a percentage. So the example of this accuracy is that, let us consider a thermistor which is used to measure a temperature between minus 30 to plus 80 and produce the output voltage between 2.8 volt and 1.5 volt. Because of this error, the accuracy is sensing plus or minus 0.5 degree Celsius. So the measured value may be high than or lower than the 0.5 degree Celsius. So this is nothing but the accuracy. Next, the hysteresis. What is this hysteresis? So here the hysteresis is nothing but it is deviation of sensors output at a given point when approached from two different directions. So let us explain with the help of the diagram. So this is the diagram. So this is the input and the output. So here the value, that is a curve, okay, it represents the increasing, and this is the decreasing curve. So hysteresis, it causes the difference between the increasing and the decreasing. The band is, you can see here. So this represents the hysteresis. So this is caused by the electrical or mechanical systems such as magnetizations, the thermal process, and the loose linkages. Next one, non-linearity. So what is this non-linearity? So non-linearity is defined as the maximum deviation from the ideal linear transfer function. So here let us explain with the help of the diagram. So this is a diagram where it represents the output then the stimulus. So this is 100%, okay, this is 0%. So let us, there are few steps which describes the non-linearity. First one, pass a straight line between the range point line 1. So here pass this straight line. So this is the range, two ranges, that is, okay, 1 and 2. Pass a straight line. So this is the straight line which passes on the range points. So range points between this point and this point. Next one, use a linear best fit, that is the least curve, to the points of the curve in the line 2. So next one, draw the another line 2. So this represents the line 2, which must be linear best fit. Okay. Next, use the tangent to the curve at some point of the curve. So next one, use the tangent. So next, draw the tangent. So this is the tangent. Next, take a point in the middle of the range of the interest. So take the point. So this is the middle point. Then draw the tangent and extend the range of the curve line 3. So this represents the curve line 3. So here by this we can get that the maximum deviations. So this is the maximum deviations, okay, where the curve deviates from the normal value to the maximum value. So by this we represent the non-linearity. Next one, the dead band. So what is this dead band? The dead band is nothing but the lack of response or the insensitivity of a device over a specific range of the input. So in this range, which may be small, the output remains the constant. A device should not operate in the range unless this insensitivity is acceptable. So this is a figure which represents the dead band. So this is a small range where you can see the dead zone. Okay, it is small. Okay, which is the output remains the constant. That is the small output range. So this is the dead band zone. Next one, output impedance. So what is this output impedance? The output impedance is nothing but a ratio of rated output voltage and the short circuit current of the port. The output impedance is important for interfacing the examples for 500 sensors connected to a processor. Processor input impedance is infinite, processor input impedance is 500. So this is nothing but the ratio that of the rated output voltage and the short circuit current of the port. That is nothing but the output impedance. So this is the expression regarding the output impedance. So next, let's study the repeatability. So what is the repeatability? Repeatability is nothing but the other word for the reproducibility. So in this, the failure of the sensors to represent the same value under the identical conditions when measured at the different times. So it is usually associated with the calibrations. So the repeatability is defined by the the ratio. Okay, it is the maximum value minus the minimum value divided by the full range into 100. Then nothing but the repeatability. Next one, stability. Next one, what is this stability? Is ability to give the same output when used to measure a constant input over a period of time. So this is nothing but the stability. Next, sensitivity. Sensitivity is the sensor defined as the change in output for a given change in input. Usually a input changes a input. Sensitivity represents the slope of the transfer functions. So it also indicates the sensitivity to other environment that is not measured. So example of a sensitivity is that sensitivity of resistance measurement to the temperature change. Next one is the resolutions. So what is resolution? The minimum increment in stimulus to which the sensor can respond. Okay, it is the magnitude of the input change which results in the smallest observable output. For example, let us consider a digital voltmeter with a resolution of 0.1 volt, which is used to measure the output of a sensor. The change in input, that is temperature, pressure, etc., will provide a change of a 0.1 volt on the voltmeter in the resolution of the sensor or voltmeter systems. So this is regarding the resolutions where minimum increment in stimulus to which the sensor can respond. So this is the expression regarding the resolutions. Next, last, the important questions. So there are 3 important questions which are most likely asked for the examinations.